Okay, so let's go and digitize the upper zone here. So remember, we make sure it's in edit mode, we go to create features, we click on lithologies, and now we click on the straight segment. Okay, I'm going to start along the top part of it, and I'm trying as best as possible to just do the green very coarsely. Over here, don't panic, I'm going to include the yellow because I want to show you something. And I'm going across, and I'm getting to the end. I'm going down, and remember, I'm going to use this lower main zone for tracing. And how do I do that? I click on trace here. I'm going to zoom in, because sometimes I find if you don't zoom in, it doesn't always click on the vertex, and then you land up with issues later when you're trying to edit your shapefile. So I'm going to click on the vertex here. It should connect it, and now I can zoom along, I suppose, and just zoom out a bit. Let's see if it'll let me move without losing my editing. Okay, I've kind of lost it. See, that's my issue with zooming in and out. Sometimes it's not always easy to move. So I clicked again on create features, I clicked again on trace, and I'm just going to hope for the best that it clicks on the right point there. And see, it hasn't. Trace. I think it hadn't. Okay, I think it hadn't saved that I had clicked on trace yet. So I struggle to know whether to zoom in or not, because then it's always difficult zooming out later. Okay, so I've traced all the way to the top here. I'm going to click, and I'm going to trace again if it lets me. Oh, so it didn't let me trace. I wanted to trace along this top edge here. This might cause issues later. Let's see. I don't think it'll let me. Maybe. Okay, so that's good to know. I never knew that. So I thought it had already closed my polygon, but I clicked on trace again. I clicked on this point, and then I traced along here, and it let me edit that change. So I must admit, I've had quite a few issues with this tracing function, because what I'm going to show you next is how to cut a polygon. And if you have not traced correctly, you cannot cut. It will give you an error. So it'll be interesting to see if ours actually works here. So sometimes you actually have to just go and delete your polygon and start again. So hopefully this worked. I'm going to right click, go finish sketch. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to save my edits. You can see here I haven't really digitized very well, and so what you can do is you should be able to, if you go here and click edit vertices, it shows you where all the vertices are, and you can move them. You can also, if you right click, go insert. It's added one here. I'm going to click on it and drag it up, and I could add another one here, and I could click and drag up. I could even drag this one up a bit. Okay, although I'm going to undo this one, undo move, because I wanted to stay along the edge. I don't know if it's traced properly. Let's see if it'll let me stay on the edge. Okay, and I think you can just click out, and it will save your changes. And let's go to our table here and go right click, open attributes, and so this we're going to call it the upper zone. You can put a space if you want. Okay, let's zoom out. Can you see, here's my upper zone, but I included, remember here, this orange lithology, and let's go cut it out. So how we do that, I'm going to click on this microscope of the plus, and I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see when I take off my lithology, oh sorry, there it is underneath. But it's a bit hard to see, so I'm going to go back and make my lithology hollow so that I can easily see it underneath it. And so I right click, and I went to properties, and it's taking a while to load. Okay, and I go back to the symbology tab, and I could also, okay, you can see my upper zone is not listed here, because if I need to just click on add all values again, because it's a new color, a new rock unit that I added in. I'm going to double click here on the green and select hollow. So the other ones can stay colored, but this one will be hollow. And I can click apply just to check it looks okay, and click OK. I suppose it actually goes down here, but for now I'm not actually sure how to deal with it. Let's just clip it out of this upper zone. I just want to take off my lithologies and see how far. Sure, it really does stick to the edges of it. Okay, so let's see, it's VRG. What the heck does VRG stand for? Let's zoom out and go to our key. VRG stands for granifier and pseudo-granifier. So it's the felsic phase. Okay, so we're zooming in here, back to it. We're putting on our lithologies again because I took it off. And so now what I need to do is I'm again going to save edits. I make sure it's in edit mode. And right now I'm going to push on this black arrow here that says edit tool, and I'm going to select this shapefile, so this upper zone, and I'm now going to go to this icon that says cut polygon tool, and so I'm going to click on it, and you need to click outside the polygon on either side. So I click up here, click along the edge, and click down here, double click. Oh, thank heavens. If you had not traced your polygon correctly, at this point now you would have had an error saying it cannot cut the polygon. I had this multiple times the other day. Just go and delete your shapefile and start again. It really was quite frustrating. And so it's cut here, and if I go and right click and go to open attribute table, you can see it's created two upper zones. And if I click on the polygon, on this left hand side, it shows me which is which region. So this is the upper zone on the left hand side, and it's saying all of this is upper zone, but it's not. So I want to go and cut again. So either make sure in that table you selected this right hand polygon, or click on this black edit tool arrow and highlight it. Make sure you again click on cut, and I'm going to again cut along the edge here. And double click outside. Okay, and so it's created this separate polygon here, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go back to my table, open attribute. I've now got three upper zones. We know one of them is this granifier, so we just got to figure out which. So it's this one here. I'm going to double click here and type in granifier. And click out, and you can see it's given it a different color. Let's go right click here, go down to properties, and give our upper zone a color again. So I'm going to double click here, make sure it's different from what you got already. I'll give it this yellow. Okay, add values to add in the granifier. You can actually see that as soon as I click add values, it readjusts the upper zone and gives it the correct color. Click OK. Okay, and we can zoom out with our earth button, and now we've got a granifier over here. So you can see how you use the cut button to cut up a shapefile to create a new shapefile.